Before we begin today's remarkable journey into the story of a rare treasure, make sure you subscribe Coin Discovery Old Zone and join our growing family of collectors and historians who still believe that the smallest coin can hold the biggest story ever told. Now, imagine holding in your hand a coin that once passed through the bustling markets of Abu Dhabi, clinked in the pockets of traders from Dubai to Sharjah, and now rests quietly in the collections of those who understand its silent power. This is not just a piece of metal. It is a witness to time itself. The 1 Dirham coin of the United Arab Emirates from the year 1998 also marked 1419 in the Islamic calendar. Back in 1998, the UAE was in the midst of transformation. The skyline was rising, oil wealth was shaping the nation, and the world was just beginning to take notice of this new power in the desert. Amid all that progress, the central bank of the UAE continued to mint coins that carried symbols of pride and heritage. The Arabic script, the dhow, the traditional coffee pot, and the elegant numberings that linked the modern state to its rich Islamic past. The 1 Dirham coin from 1998 is part of that legacy. At first glance, it looks simple, made from a cupronickel alloy, light yet durable, circular, modest in size. But look closer and you will see the craftsmanship that defines the spirit of the Emirates. One side bears the traditional Arabic script stating United Arab Emirates and the denomination 1 Dirham. The other side proudly displays the symbolic dhala, the traditional Arabic coffee pot, a gesture of hospitality, a reflection of culture, and a silent welcome that has lasted generations. Now, most people who used this coin in 1998 would never have imagined it would one day be discussed by collectors around the world. But coins, like people, have destinies. Some are lost forever, buried under sand, or forgotten in drawers. Others find their way into history. The 1998 1 Dirham is one such survivor. It represents a time when the UAE was finding its modern identity, yet holding tight to its traditions. What makes this coin so fascinating to collectors today is not just its design or its age, but its story of scarcity and variation. Over the years, certain mint batches were produced in smaller quantities. Some had minor differences in metal tone, and a few even showed rare minting flaws. Tiny imperfections that for ordinary people meant nothing, but for collectors meant everything. Each mark, each faint misalignment of the lettering became a signature, a fingerprint of history. And that's why this coin has begun to stir excitement in the world of numismatics. For many older collectors, especially those who remember the late 1990s, this coin brings back vivid memories of travel through the Gulf, of business done in the early oil boom days, of conversations over Arabic coffee, of simpler yet deeply meaningful times. There's something about holding that little coin that takes you back to a world where every purchase, every trade, every moment had weight and value. As the years passed, the UAE updated its coinage to reflect economic changes, rounding adjustments, and modern minting techniques. But the 1998 issue retained an almost classic charm. The Arabic numerals marking the Islamic year, paired with 1998 in English, formed a symbolic bridge between faith and progress, between centuries of tradition and the promise of the new millennium. It's a connection that resonates deeply with those who grew up respecting both heritage and modern growth. Collectors often say that a coin doesn't just hold metal, it holds memory. When you hold this 1 Dirham from 1998, you can almost feel the heat of the desert markets, the sound of distant call to prayer, the scent of cardamom and spice drifting from stalls, and the determination of a young nation moving toward greatness. That is the real magic, that something so small can carry the pulse of an entire era. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone pay attention to such a common coin? After all, millions were minted, right? Yes, but here's the hidden truth that only serious collectors know. Not all coins are equal. Some were minted in specific locations, with unique die impressions, or produced during limited runs for circulation testing. Over time, these variants become harder to find, especially in uncirculated or mint condition. There are also stories of a few 1998 1 Dirham coins that were struck with unusual alignment, the obverse and reverse slightly rotated, making them rare errors. A handful of such pieces surfaced in private collections, and ever since, their value has skyrocketed. Add to that the cultural importance of the year 1419 in Islamic history, and you begin to see why this coin stands apart. For men of our generation, men who have seen decades of change, from the old markets to modern skyscrapers, coins like this are more than collectibles. They are bridges to memory. They remind us of how value was once measured not just in wealth, but in craftsmanship, in tradition, and in the spirit of giving. Every coin exchanged hands between people who shared trust, honor, and community. Think of it this way. Every time you see this coin, you're not just looking at metal. You're looking at a symbol of transformation. The moment when the UAE was rising from the sands to become a world symbol of progress and unity. That's why collectors from Europe, Asia, and America now seek this piece. They're not just buying a coin. They're buying a story that cannot be replaced. And here's where it becomes truly incredible. Recently, a few pristine examples of the 1998 1 Dirham, preserved perfectly, have been valued by private collectors and auction experts at unbelievable figures. Some transactions have even been rumored in the private market to reach extraordinary sums, as rare coins have always captured the imagination of the elite. So, after all this history, symbolism, and mystery, how much do you think this small piece of metal could be worth today? The answer might leave you speechless. Because the rarest, this coin 1998 United Arab Emirates 1 Dirham coin history, depending on condition, rarity, and provenance, has been valued by some collectors and enthusiasts at up to $2.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $2.5 million for a single coin that once bought a small cup of tea in the markets of Dubai. That is the power of history, the magic of memory, and the beauty of discovery. A coin that once traveled through countless hands now stands as a symbol of priceless value. So, the next time you come across an old coin, don't dismiss it. Look closer. It might just be holding a story that could change your life. And if you love discovering hidden treasures like this, don't forget to subscribe to Coin Discovery Old Zone, where every coin tells a story, and every story might just hold a fortune waiting to be found.